Hi, I'm Fatima Hernandez, and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about the unsolved mystery John F. Kennedy plane crash. But who was John F. Kennedy Jr.? Well, he was an American lawyer, journalist, and publisher of magazines. His parents were John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline Kennedy. He was the focus of intense meditation and later became a well-known social figure in Manhattan. He received legal training, and for over 4 years, he served as an assistant district attorney for the city of New York. He established the George magazine and promoted it through his political and public uh, people. 2 weeks after his namesake, Massachusetts Senator John F. Kennedy was elected president, he was born on November uh, 25 in 1960 at the George Washington University Hospital. John Jr. spent the first 3 years of his life in the White House and continued to be a public figure as a teenager. On the third birthday of John Jr., his father was killed on November 22nd in 1963, and a state burial was held three days later. Now, in 1967, his mother took him and Caroline, his sister, on a 6 week sentimental journey to Ireland, where they met President Edmond de Valera and visited the Kennedy ancestral home in Douglastown. After President Kennedy was killed in 1963, Jacqueline moved her family from their brief residence in Georgetown neighborhood of Washington to a luxurious apartment of the Upper East Side of Manhattan in New York City, where they were raised. So the family moved to reside to an Aristotle Onassis private island of Scorpios after his mother Jacqueline Kennedy wed him. Kennedy visited the White House for the first time since the assassination in 1971, along with his mother and sister. In 1995, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Michael Vernon started the George magazine, and Kennedy and Vernon owned 50 and 50 of the company shares. Now, the George magazine is a glitzy, politic, lifestyle, style, and fashion monthly. On September 8th, he remarked that he had not seen so many reporters gathering in one spot since he failed his first legal test when he officially launched the magazine. Now, the two founders were locked in a power struggle, resulting in Vernon selling his shares. So the magazine suffered a rapid drop in sales and was eventually bought out by Hachette, that was a French publisher. Kennedy was also interested in flying and he had been taking lessons on a regular basis. In April in 1998, he obtained his pilot's license. Kennedy kept in touch with his family. He periodically contributed to his uncle's and cousin's political efforts. During his life, Kennedy dated several high-profile women, including Sally Monroe and Brooke Shields, while at Brown University, models Cindy Crawford and Julie Baker, and actresses like Sarah Jessica Parker and Daryl Hannah. On September 21st in 1996, he married the fashion publicist Carolyn Bessette. Kennedy, his wife, and her older sister died in a plane crash in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Martha Vineyard on July 16 in 1999, where we're going to talk about later how this happened and where the possibly cause of the accident of John Kennedy, his wife, and his sister-in-law. So, what happened in this accident? In 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife and sister-in-law took off from New York in a single engine a small plane for Martha's Vineyard. The plane vanished over the water, and it created a media frenzy since John F. Kennedy was one of the most popular presidents in modern history. Both at home and intentionally, he'd been slain. His brother Robert Kennedy, who was campaigning for president at the time, was slain a few years later. However, However, there was a little political significance to this occurrence because first his father was killed, and then his uncle Robert was killed too. So John Jr. was not a candidate for public office because he was the founder and editor of struggling magazine. As I said before, he founded the George magazine, who was also going through a divorce. He was gorgeous like his mother Jackie, a paparazzi target because, as we know, he was the son of the most popular presidents in United States. Going into technical details is pointless. Navy drivers recovered the debris and extensively investigated. He'd been flying, had nothing wrong with it, but it had hit the water with its right wingtip and falling upside down. It didn't take long to realize that John Jr. should not have attempted to fly, for one thing. First, he was bothered by circumstances. He was very late and hurried for another. He had 103 hours of flying time, but only approximately 70 of those had been solo. So and he had 11 different instructors. He was only qualified for visual flyers, which require you to see where you're going, obviously, during the day and in clear weather. But because he left late, he found himself lost and fly in darkness. Furthermore, he had set his radio to the incorrect weather frequency and was not receiving updates. So he was ignorant of the misclosing and into his flight path. The hypothesis, I think, that he had become disoriented. It's according to the investigation because perhaps while trying to find the correct weather frequency, if a pilot is distracted for a few moments, the airplane is likely to begin to bank and lose altitude. So the altitude indicator on the instrument panel would have told Kennedy this, but inexperienced pilots who can't see anything are liable to trust their sensations rather than respond to their instruments. So we are going to know that well, we know that Kennedy only was certified, but no, he was not like capable of flying in these weather conditions. So it's very easy to lose altitude in complete darkness, even during a slight bank. The slight alteration in G forces tells you are sitting up straight and flying level, but without additional training, Kennedy lost control and the crash was lethal for the three people aboard. Uh, him, his wife, and his sister-in-law. So that could be all about my investigation. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.